Greetings, Knights of the Round Table. It's been a little while. This is going to be difficult, I have a feeling, guys. I've kind of avoided I told you I had avoided getting into the metaphysics, even though I did recently with the last 4 lines of the poem. But I've avoided the religious stuff or the spirituality stuff. Even though when people say spirituality, that's just kind of a cop out, because that's just like saying you understand the plight of being a human being. So, yeah, I mean, so let's just, God, I mean, it's so weak to just say you're spiritual. Everybody's spiritual, you know? I mean, that's just saying you, like I said, you understand the plight of being human, okay? Now, with the religious stuff with the Native Americans, you can't say the Native Americans are just spiritual. I've been doing research on it, man. They're religious. I mean, for sure. Maybe you could even say more religious than spiritual, because that's just how it is. Okay, so this is gonna be crazy, guys. So it's like I know people, who I mentioned in video two briefly about the Jesuits a little bit and how that works. You guys should listen to video two. Um, but people, this is just my opinion, what I'm about to say. They dabble in the occult way too much and they don't know it. So someone passes away and they try to contact that person, okay? Or they're into UFOs. Like, I know people, y'all, who who've dabbled in this stuff, and I'm telling you, it does not end good. It just doesn't. It just, from what I've seen, it's my opinion. It's extremely slippery slope. It's extremely dangerous. Now, I got to thinking about the Kabbalah, 6th century BC, I believe, where um, it talks about the summoning of demons. Okay, and then you think about the Native Americans, and yeah, I've said previously, you can't. It's a mixed bag. You can't really. It's not easily defined. It's probably going to be more theistic, whether it's polytheistic or monotheistic. And then, are you dealing with pantheism or animism and all that different stuff? But um, what you're dealing with is the main thing is, important as it is to appreciate the affinities between, because I'm reading here on the internet, there's a lot of similarities between Catholicism and the Protestants with the Native Americans, but the main thing is, God, sorry guys, I got a what's that stuff called, phlegm or whatever. There were real differences that must be kept in mind. The most important is that Indians did not distinguish between the natural and the supernatural. On the contrary, Native Americans perceived the material and spiritual as a unified realm, of being a kind of extended kinship network. In their view, plants, animals, and humans partook of divinity through their close connection with guardian spirits, a myriad of supernatural entities who imbued their natural kin with life and power. By contrast, Protestant and Catholic traditions were more inclined to emphasize the gulf that separated the pure spiritual beings in heaven, God, the angels, and saints, from sinful men and women mirrored by a profane world filled with temptation and evil. So that's just what I've seen. I've seen how dangerous that is, and I don't like getting into the scrapbooks because I think Fenn just tries to throw people off. I could be wrong about that, but you know, you scrapbook 210. A lot of people comment about that with the picture of the church, and I looked up that church, and that's a Catholic church. Okay, so someone was saying, well, that's pushback on Fenn, pushing back against religion, and he wants to go to spirituality or something like that. It's like, no, you can't really separate them that easy. Like, it's a cop out when you just say you're spiritual. Okay, that anyone can say that. So I don't think that's pushback by Fenn. However, I don't think Fenn really understands what's going on, because he's made a couple comments in the recent scrapbooks about he was totally different than that Jewish guy that lived in Santa Fe or something about that. I need to read that again. And then he said he balanced out the equation because he was born around the same time as George Soros, that big liberal evil Jew that's into the currency speculation. So yeah, he's trying to say that. Okay, he's trying to say like he's way different than the Jewish stuff, but that was a Catholic church. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. Canonchito Church at Apache Canyon. And the thing about it is the Jesuits, the Jesuit missions would gain a strong foothold in North America in 1632 with the arrival of Jesuit Paul Lejeune. Between 1632 and 1650, 46 French Jesuits arrived in North America to preach among the Indians. I mean, they're everywhere. I could go down and read this to you guys. You can read it on their own. The Jesuits got in the United States and were training the Native Americans. What did I say? In 1632, you can read about it. They went everywhere. I mean, just they expanded everywhere with the Native Americans. And you know how cultures, they'll communicate with each other and pick up customs. So this Native American stuff, yeah, there's differences, but it's more after the Jesuits got here. I would guess that a lot of it became really similar. And I can unequivocally tell you, based on past research I've done years ago, the Jesuits, they would end up influencing the Native Americans more than the other way, because remember, the Jesuits, we're talking a lot of their stuff is Babylonian witchcraft, Jewish Kabbalah stuff, 6th century BC summoning of demons. So they're God, I'm losing my train of thought. This is difficult, guys. They're getting their stuff, okay? They're getting that stuff, okay? And then they are training the Native Americans more than the Native Americans are training them. But if you understand how the Jesuits act, they are chameleons. They will blend into absolutely any situation. Any. Okay, so let me read something for you, a quote by the inventor of the telegraph. Okay, here. Jeez, guys, I'm not gonna creep you guys out and just start, reading some stuff about the Jesuits. Okay, you can do that on your own. I don't want to get into all that conspiracy stuff, but they can assume any character, that of angels of light or ministers of darkness, to accomplish their one great end, the service upon which they are sent, whatever that service may be. They are all educated men, prepared and sworn to start at any moment and in any direction, and for any service commanded by the general of their order, bound to no family, community, or country by the ordinary ties which bind men, and sold for life to the cause of the Roman pontiff. So, the way the Jesuits are going everywhere, and it was just basically, it's like the founding of this country basically started, ironically, around 1776, around the time of the Illuminati, with that Jew, Adam Weishaupt, started the Illuminati. And I'm not getting into any weird conspiracy, guys. I'm just stating facts. And so, I'm losing my train of thought again. This is difficult. So, that is so Fenn, he thinks he's getting away from that stuff. He thinks he's getting away from that Jewish stuff, but he's not. That's a Catholic Church, and we know, I just told you about how early the Jesuits got to the Native Americans, and just that summoning of demons, 6th century BC, and just even more crazy stuff beyond that. It's so insane, it's not even believable. So, I mean, to think, yeah, Finn probably does not understand all this stuff. He just doesn't get it. He doesn't get how it's all connected. But, so for the Native Americans, the problem is that they're gonna think, I told you one of the main things, though, I read it to you, is that they don't separate the two worlds. So if there are such things as demons, and the Jewish Kabbalah with the summoning of demons, and then the Native Americans don't separate. They don't separate it. That's why there was always outbreaks of witchcraft, and they need shamans, and they need all this stuff to go on to try to fix it, but then it gets worse. And where am I going with this? I don't even know what my main point is. Yeah, so Finn, because then I had seen that one picture where he has the cross, and then he's got the horns, by the cross there on his wall, and the skull, I mean. And then he's got the church with the mountains. It's the Catholic Church. Is it really pushed back? Yeah, it could be. It could be. He's trying to act like man alone probably has it right. Maybe. I don't know. It's where Finn just is like, I don't understand, though, how that would really be. He's pushing back against organized religion. Well, then why would he show the picture of the church and the in nature like that? Is that just the naturalistic fallacy I've spoken about? Why is he showing that picture? People think that's pushback. I really don't think it is. I don't know. I don't think Finn is aware of the Jesuit influence, and then the Kabbalah with that Jesuit influence, okay? Because they're basically the same thing, okay? They're basically the same thing, and some of my best friends are Catholics, so I'm not saying anything's wrong with the Catholic religion at all, but I'm saying the high-level Jesuits hide in the Catholic religion, and the Jesuits have nothing to do with religion. It's a military order, 100%. But Albert Pike here, I'm just going through some of my things on the internet I have up. He was a Freemason, and he left the Civil War as the only white Southerner to lead an all-Native American force in battle. He returned to Arkansas to practice law and became a national figure in Freemasonry. Well, There you go, the Jesuits. You know, it's all over the internet where the Freemasonry and the Jesuits, Albert Pike, you know, they got to the Native Americans, and then the all these wars have been fomented through the years. That's the Jesuits getting in there. That's, you know, a lot to do with the Civil War. So the Native Americans are looking more, the more you study this, you know, in the 1500s, the Jesuits going over there, the more you understand that the Native Americans start to look somewhat like puppets. Not all the way. The Iroquois I had spoken about earlier, they were one of the only tribes that were um, against the Jesuits. Okay, so I don't really know all the details exactly on that though, but several Belgian men came to study at White Marsh near Bowie, Maryland in 1820s. They all had volunteered to be missionaries to Native Americans. Father Pierre Jan de Smet, who that's a Jesuit who started working in Missouri in 1830, would eventually build strong relationships with leaders in numerous tribes of the West, including Sitting Bull. That's Forrest's boy. Sitting Bull, war chief of I can't say it, guys. Sioux. My bad. Oh man. Uh, through the 19th century, Jesuit priests founded missions and schools among native tribes in present-day Montana and Idaho. It's everywhere, guys. I mean, so for Forrest to think, you know, to take your guys' argument and to think Forrest is pushing back and the Native Americans, you know, this is what I guess what I'm getting at. To say he's pushing back and the Native Americans are the only pure spirituality and they don't have religious beliefs. Number one, they have religious beliefs. Number two, to say it's pure, you could never judge it. Yeah, they've been here for what, 15,000 years or something, but ever since the mid 1500s, the Jesuits got to them. So we don't know. Forrest would never know. Okay? I mean, he can do some research, but he's not going to really know. He's not going to know. Okay? He's not going to know. They're probably not pure anyway because they combine the worlds. And then if there is demonic stuff, all these problems occur. So even if we say, well, there's no demonic stuff going on, okay, which I don't believe to be true when you combine the worlds, well, how do you explain the Jesuits getting to the Native Americans in the 1500s, Forrest? How do you explain that? And the huge Jewish Kabbalah influence on the Jesuits, Forrest, and you want to get away from that, buddy? You can't get away from it, dude. So you can't hide in this stuff and say you're pure and you're spiritual, even though there's all these religious attachments to your quote unquote spirituality, and it's not pure anyway because you commit naturalistic fallacy anyway. So it's like, come on, dude, you're not better than everyone else, you know? So anyway, he's just, yeah, this is his little this is his outlet from being in that war. I'm sure he has post-traumatic stress. And I mean, shit, I get it, man. I had a freaking crazy ex-girlfriend, so I've got a little post-traumatic stress. So I get it, you know, we want to have our outlets, and he's got this thing where he writes these books and he just gets into the Native American culture, you know, and he's oblivious to everything else, and that's just the most pure thing, nature and Native Americans, and that's cool. I mean, I'm not going to judge you for it, you know, but I'm just saying, like, what's really going on? What's the history here? What's going on with all this stuff? So, anyway, guys, I don't know. I mean, I'm just Yeah, so in regard to that scrapbook, guys, I mean, I'm just trying to. I don't like to go. It's the only time I've ever really brought up a specific scrapbook, I guess, but I don't know. What else was I going to talk about? I have some notes here. Um, okay, guys. Yeah, I think I covered a lot of it. So that's it. I'll probably try to do another one pretty soon. We'll talk to you later.